All right, so welcome everybody to Marlie's Corner. It's Friday noon, as usual, coming to you live from the paw.com offices in a special place we like to call Marlie's Corner because, as you can see, it's her favorite place to hang out and chew a bone. So we come to you here every week at noon to talk everything pets and have fantastic guests in the pet world. To share incredible stories and tips and a lot of cool things. So you get a lot out of this. We try to provide our viewers and everybody watching with some really cool content. And this week is no different. We have a really cool person joining us. Her name is Kelsey Straus. She's a photographer from Washington State, and she has a super cool story about how she got into photography, and hopefully she can share that with us and with you. And her Instagram account is Little PNW Pups. Fantastic pictures. If you're a pet lover, check it out. You'll love some of the content that she puts out there. And she's also a pet parent to a Corgi and a Golden. So let's see if we can get her live here. I need a remote for this. That would be nice. Instagram should come out with some sort of remote.
Or a voice command.
Voice command.
Voice command.
Something like that would be cool. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. This is like the first time I've spoken today. So
What is it? Not even
warming
to
up
your
my
dogs?
voice. Sorry?
Not even to your dogs?
I guess I did say good morning to them, but I literally just woke up like 30 minutes ago. I kind of slept in today. Oh.
But
They're
you
saying
probably
hello.
said more in a very different voice, right? A dog
Yes.
voice. The dog
Yes.
voice.
It's like
Well,
10
anyways,
octaves
thank
higher.
you. Thank you for coming on. I know you're in Washington State, so I guess the time zone's different, isn't it? Yeah, you're just waking up, but we appreciate you taking the time
Yeah.
to chat with us. Look at
Of
that.
course.
Um,
This is Ava.
That's Ava, and
Yes.
it's so cute. So
Thank
cute.
you.
So cute. And you have another dog too, right?
Yes, we have a golden retriever. His name is Aspen. And then we also have a cat.
Okay.
What?
That was
The cat's causing problems probably somewhere.
That's hilarious. Well, anyways, thanks again for joining. And I like to kick off these Marley Corner shows with maybe you could just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. And of course,
Yeah.
your pets.
Of course, yes. I'm Kelsey, and I live in Vancouver, Washington. I'm just going to put her down, which is not Canada. It's about 20 minutes outside of Portland, so I usually just tell people we live in Portland because it's easier. But yeah, we've been living in the Pacific Northwest for about almost 4 years, and we love it here. I don't know if we'll ever leave. It's beautiful. It has everything from the coast to the mountains to lakes to just every landscape you would want exists in the Pacific Northwest. And then, yeah, I have Ava, who's my Corgi. She's 3.5, and then Aspen is our golden retriever. He is also 3, and he was a rescue. He came from a rescue called Golden Bond Rescue, which is based here in Oregon, and he's a China dog, so he came from Beijing. Ava and then we have our cat. We also have a bunny. So we got a full house of pets.
Awesome.
But they're all great. We love them so much, and they all get along, which is the most important part.
That's fantastic. And I mentioned your Instagram account. I got a chance when I knew you were coming on Marley's Corner. I took a look at your account, and the pictures and the content you provide are awesome. They're so wonderful. I was curious, how did you get into photography? Because I heard a story about how you started shooting your pets first, and that's how the passion came about. But I'd love to hear from your side how this all came to be.
Yeah. So I kind of had dabbled in photography here and there just for fun a little bit in high school and college. But really, I started getting into it when I got Ava, because we had Ava for about a year before we had Aspen. And all my friends were like, you need to make an Instagram account for her. And I swore that I would never be that person. I was like, no, I'm not going to have an Instagram account for my dogs. That's ridiculous. Look at me now. But she was just so freaking cute as a little puppy. I couldn't stop taking her photos. And then Ava, she's asking to go out. I guess I'll go let her out.
Yeah, you gotta let her out.
She was just out, so I don't think she actually needs to go. She just wants to go hang out in the sunshine. But yeah, so I kind of kept taking pictures of her and then started seeing a following growing slowly on Instagram. This was about 2 years ago, I guess, at this point. And then I kept just wanting newer and better equipment because as I was getting this following, I wanted to be taking better photos. And eventually I got to the point where I was like, okay, I have this nice camera equipment and I really like photography. Why don't I try taking pictures of people? So I started asking basically anyone that I knew that was like a family or a couple to get in front of my camera just to get myself more practice. And then I kind of grew from there. Now I'm a full-time wedding photographer. I have 27 weddings this year. Wow. And my business has taken off. So yeah, I definitely have the dogs to thank for like getting that fire under my belly with photography.
That's amazing. And now, do they take commission now on those 27 weddings or what?
They are spoiled.
They are spoiled. That's awesome. Any tips for somebody watching who's a pet parent that wants to take the absolute best picture with their pet?
Yeah, and I think the days have passed where you have to have this amazing, nice camera to take a good picture of your pet. I know I don't have like the newest iPhone or anything, but some of the newer iPhones take really great photos. And as a professional photographer, for me, like nothing matches to a DSLR camera, but you can still take a really great photo just with your phone camera. I'd say the biggest thing is having a solid training foundation, which is not even really related to the photo itself, but I think a lot of people go to a pretty place or like want to have a photo shoot with their dog, but their dog does not know how to sit and how to stay for more than 3 seconds. So really getting a solid sit and stay is huge. Yeah, I would say the training is like the biggest thing. People, when we're out in public taking photos of them, are always like, oh my gosh, how do you get them to stay? Like, They just know stay. It's just the training.
I was going to say treats are probably the most important,
yeah.
But I guess training helps too.
Yeah, well, treats with the training, you got to make it fun for them too. When I'm out hiking, if there's like a lot of people and dogs around, I usually don't take out food. It can make one of our dogs a little weird, but they're also super used to the photo thing. They now like jump up on logs and rocks and stuff and just look at me like, okay, we're ready.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And I mean, your pictures are great on the Instagram account, but I also noticed you guys do a lot of traveling with your pets. Is there an inspiration behind that? What made you want to travel with your pets?
Yeah, I would say being on Instagram was a huge inspiration for us, seeing a lot of our friends and people that we followed doing the same thing, like picking up and going on road trips and seeing other people do it first made me feel confident that I could do it myself. I would say before I got into the dog Instagram community, I don't know if I would have had the courage to go, on a 10-day road trip by myself with my dogs. People still kind of look at me strange, like, why would you want to do that alone? I'm like, it's great. So yeah, I think the friendships and the people we've connected with on this app have definitely inspired me.
Awesome. And I think as the country starts to open back up, people are going to, the summer season is coming around, people are going to want to travel more and absolutely bring their pets along for the ride. Is there any tips you can give them on super essentials that you always pack when you travel with your pets?
Yeah, and I think it probably varies a lot, depending on your pet and what you feel like they need. My dogs are now very used to this. I don't feel like I need to bring a lot of special things to keep them occupied, and like in the car, they don't need anything. They're super chill. I'd say, of course, the essentials, like plenty more than you need of food and water. If you're going for a 5-day trip, bring like 7 days worth of food, just in case. You never know if you're going to get stranded somewhere or just need extra for some reason. So yeah, always an excess of everything. Always like make sure that you have tags on them with your phone number, which like, of course, that's always a thing, but especially when we're traveling, that's something I make sure that they have. And then we also have a dog specific first aid kit that we have. It's always in my car, like no matter where I'm going. And then if I'm hiking like further out in the wilderness where I might not even see other people, then I carry it with me while I'm hiking. Trying to think what else. I think those are the main things. But then, of course, like if your dog maybe is a little more anxious or needs like more things, you can bring bones and toys and things to keep them occupied in the car.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I think the dog first aid kit, that's something that I didn't think about. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And Kelsey, any one specific adventure that's like a standout to you that you had with your pets?
There's so many. I have two because I cannot choose between them, but this last March I did a 10-day road trip. I think it was 9 or 10 days to Utah with the dogs, and I had gone to Utah once when I was a kid, but I didn't really remember much. But that was amazing. I just fell in love with the desert. The landscape there is complete opposite of what we have here. I think that's part of what made it so special. It's just so different. Yeah. But just being on the road with them for a week and a half, that was the longest trip I had taken with them and the longest trip I had taken by myself ever. So that was really special. And then another trip that was really awesome was I went backpacking with them in Eastern Oregon last fall. In the Eagle Cap Wilderness is what it's called. And that was also just like an epic landscape that I'll never forget.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Those places sound great. Jeff, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we have a couple questions, but I have a question myself. I'm curious, Kelsey, have your worlds ever collided? And what I mean is, have you had the opportunity to shoot a wedding where they had their dogs as part of the wedding party, so you got to do both at once?
So yes and no. Yes, I've had tons of my clients bring their dogs to their weddings or to their engagement sessions, but I've never had anyone that I met through the dog Instagram hire me for their wedding yet.
Yet.
Exactly.
Great. A couple of people asked, you mentioned tips for dogs. What about photographing cats? Now, I have a cat. They're always sitting
Oh.
around, so stay is not an issue, right?
Good question. I don't photograph my cat very much because he's a little cuckoo, and he's the opposite. He does not stay still. I mean, I guess I could try to snap a few while he's sleeping, but when I'm just trying to get him in front of my camera, it's really difficult. I have no tips on cat training. We've tried everything with him, and he just doesn't care. He's a wild man.
Cats march to their own beat or their own drum, right?
Yeah.
How do your dogs do at hotels? Someone asked.
Oh, they do great. They, yeah, I feel like they don't have any problems. There's so many hotels these days that are very dog friendly, which is awesome. I guess the one thing is they can get kind of triggered when they hear the doors like opening and closing in the hallways. But other than that, they do fine. I think my dogs are just really used to being in strange, different places with me that they're like, okay, they just accept it.
Yeah, they just adapted, and it's their way of life.
Do
Yeah.
you travel with your cat ever, or just the dogs?
No, we haven't we've gone on a few hikes with the cat, but it's a very different experience. We don't get very far. He doesn't like to walk on a leash, so it's not ideal. But no, we haven't really taken him anywhere. He just meows constantly in the car. He's not a fan of it.
All right. Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it and hearing all your stories and tips. And for everybody watching, if you haven't already, check out Kelsey's Instagram page. You will not be disappointed. It's at Little PNW Pups. Amazing content. So thanks, Kelsey.
Thank you for having me. It was fun to chat.
It was. And Marlie's here, but she always tends to pop on over to the other side of the couch. But she'll give her little wave goodbye. And have yourself a good weekend. And everybody watching, a good weekend and the rest of your Friday. And we'll see you guys later.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.